certainly not suggesting at all that people, for instance, who don't believe in a divine being in any way are going to be required to adhere to certain faiths, whether it be Christianity or any other one, in the form of their government and their governing bodies. That's not at all what we're talking about. What we're doing is, what I'm saying is, we need to reach down into all of the good that we have learned from our faith and share that with the rest of the community. The division between church and state, I believe very strongly in the sense of organized religion and the organized state. The crossover there should be either non-existent or very, very minimal. But beyond that, the philosophical underpinnings of our government can very much be influenced to the positive by the theological underpinnings of our faith.
No one is suggesting that there should be some kind of connection between church and state. I mean, that's, the disestablishment principle in the American Constitution. But to suggest that there isn't a relationship between faith and politics for a lot of people, or for that matter, everyone, because everyone presumably brings to their politics some kind of understanding about what's fundamentally important or what's fundamentally true about the world that they live in. Everyone has some cosmology, whether it's explicit or not. And I'm sort of, I think we need to develop a way of speaking about this that doesn't prejudice, either belief or unbelief in the public square. But having said that, we then need to develop ways of speaking to each other about this that are respectful of the sort of pluralist, secular society that we live in. But for me, that doesn't mean purging the public square of religious discourse, but it does mean that all people, both faithful and atheists, need to work at how we do that, because there are good ways to do that and bad ways to do that, and that's the challenge.
La spiritualité, c'est, premièrement, une affaire personnelle, puis qu'évidemment, ce n'est pas incompatible avec les valeurs, nos valeurs néo-démocrates. Au contraire, d'ailleurs, notre premier chef et fondateur, Tommy Douglas, était pasteur. C'était un homme donc profondément impliqué et religieux, qui a vraiment teinté le mouvement, qui a transmis ces valeurs-là.
With any political party, you're going to have people who come from different perspectives, right? And most often this is looked at from, a left and right political perspective or central. But when you dig down deeper, it can be different than that. For example, for ourselves in the New Democratic Party, you have the labor movement. So there'll be people who participate in the New Democratic Party, and their views are informed by their labor background. And so they'll be able to find their way to solutions that are fantastic solutions, maybe quicker or in a way that is better than the rest of us may not for particular issues. I believe that the Faith and Social Justice Commission has something very similar to offer.
It's sometimes harder in left-leaning political situations. It's hard to come out as a Christian and say, this is what I believe, because for so long they have been associated with the right. So I think that one big thing we have to do is affect the opinions of people within the party and show them that there are Christians and other faith groups as well who there's this idea of what they are. And there are people who don't believe that. And I think that on the outreach side, we have to show that to the general community as a whole as well, because the Christian right is fairly well funded, and so I think that we need to be out there and we need to be a presence saying that that's not the only option if you associate yourself with any church or faith-based community at all. Like there are other things available, and we're one of them.
La Commission Foi et Justice sociale, son but, c'est pas du tout d'imposer un point de vue au parti ou à d'autres. C'est tout simplement un lieu de rencontre de gens qui viennent, dont les convictions politiques sont en partie, peut-être pas totalement, mais en partie enracinées dans des valeurs religieuses. Au NPD, on est une grande coalition. Il y en a qui viennent à leurs convictions politiques social-démocrates plus de par le mouvement écologiste. D'autres, c'est plus par le mouvement syndical. D'autres, c'est plus par le mouvement des femmes. D'autres, mais il y a une partie des gens qui viennent, qui sont des sociodémocrates, qui militent au NPD, en partie à cause de valeurs religieuses dont on a parlé, le partage, la solidarité, la non-violence aussi, l'environnement, le respect pour la terre, le respect pour la création. Et c'est important que ces gens-là aient un lieu.
One of my motivations getting it started was to say we have to reach out and repudiate the kind of thinking that says religion is at the base of all the problems we have in society, and to speak and carry a message of just the opposite, that faith and religion is very much, spiritual life is very much the answer to all of the problems that we have in our lives, both individually and collectively.
Dans la population, la perception, c'est que le NPD est un parti très, très, très séculier. Et c'est vrai. En même temps, certains de nos plus grands leaders, J.S. Woodsworth, dans le temps du CCF, Tommy Douglas, et plus récemment des gens comme Bill Blakey, mais des leaders au sein du caucus, comme Joko Martin, comme Tony Martin, comme Charlie Angus, comme d'autres, sont des gens qui sont venus à leur politique de par même soit leurs valeurs ou même leur implication dans des mouvements religieux de gauche. Et il faut tout simplement avoir un espace pour ces gens-là. Et on est capable de faire ça. Ça remet pas du tout en question la séparation de l'Église et de l'État.
For the Faith and Justice Commission will be a beacon on the hill to recognize those of you who consider yourself left or faithful. You know, speak it out. Be the light of the bushel. You know, kind of from a Christian perspective. I can't reflect the metaphors from other traditions, but we need to start speaking out and declaring that, because otherwise, that's true. The current society will not understand that faith has the whole continuum, left, right, center, whatever labels you want to call.
Mais j'ai beaucoup de militants néo-démocrates, des gens qui m'ont aidé d'ailleurs dans ma campagne, qui ont une vie spirituelle active et qui continuent à me suivre. Écoutez, j'ai des délégués ici, là, je pense à un en particulier qui a la Bible comme livre de chevet. Et c'est pas quelqu'un qui va brandir sa Bible durant la fin de semaine dans un congrès. Justement, étant donné qu'on ne cherche pas à imposer des valeurs, des codes de vie, on n'a vraiment rien de menaçant. On cherche simplement à être à la fois les meilleurs individus, puis les meilleurs militants possibles, puis à tendre notre main aux autres militants, peu importe leur croyance ou leur appartenance.
For us to be able to carry that message, it's the basis of the party in many respects. If you go back to the CCF and the social gospel that we were formed on to a great degree, that we also use that as a way of saying to, and I'm being partisan here, at the partisan level, that we as a party believe in this. We believe that people have a right to practice their spiritual life, but that it guides us and it should guide the party. But to reach out to people of faith and say, those rumors that you've heard, that reflections that have been made on us as being anti-faith is simply wrong.
Il faut séparer les institutions religieuses et garder séparées les institutions religieuses des institutions étatiques. Il n'y a personne qui remet ça en question. En même temps, ce qu'on dit, c'est qu'on ne peut pas séparer les citoyens de leurs valeurs. Et qu'on le veuille ou non, il y a des gens qui viennent à leur militantisme politique, et un militantisme politique de gauche, dont une partie de l'inspiration vient de valeurs religieuses, et ces gens-là doivent avoir une place et une voix.